Hi everybody, I'm Red Hill Eagle. Welcome back to Hope and Glory, the TEW 2020 save from 1992 in the UK with Premier League Wrestling. We are now in January 1995. We have a Wrestler of the Year, Rick Rude. I'm not going to go through all those unless anyone particularly wants me to. There's a few things that have happened since the last episode. I've done a couple of shows off screen. We have a new champion. Yes, I've introduced a new title. Let me take you through all that in a second. We've got a new champion, Dave Sullivan. He did win it as the South London Championship, but we have renamed it the Southern England Championship, and we have introduced a Southern County Championship. That might be a bit misleading. I might need to change that again. Here's why I've done it. We are now looking at, well, we're very close to hitting the next level. We are very close to hitting the next level, which is small. And to be looking at a TV deal, we need, I think it's 2 regions to be 35 or 2 regions to be 30, I think. So Midlands and Wales, really, they're the ones that we've got to be looking at raising our popularity in. So I'm introducing a second show. The second show is going to be Premier Central Wrestling. So it's going to be based in the Midlands, and I've renamed the South London Wrestling to just Premier London Wrestling. So what we're going to do, Central Wrestling will have free tickets. London Wrestling we're now going to be charging for. We're only charging, I think it was cheap. So yeah, not the very bottom. Well, obviously not free, not very cheap, but cheap. So we'll be bringing in something. Central Wrestling will, to be honest, will be on the cheap. We'll be on the cheap. We'll be doing it. We won't be having our most expensive guys on this show because we still have quite low pop. We can afford to have not so well known guys. Again, until we sort of build that popularity up. Once we hit that threshold, which I think for Challenge TV, let's have a quick look. Challenge TV, it's going to be the closest. 30 pop in 2 regions. So we need 30 pop in 2 regions. Obviously, we've already got that in South. The next closest is Wales or the Midlands. So I've decided the Midlands. But yeah, what I might do then with that title, that's probably a bit misleading calling it the Southern County. I mean, I could just call it the Central. How about the Central Counties? The Central County. So kind of Central England counties, whatever. It doesn't really matter because, you know, once we hit a level, both of these belts are gonna go anyway, and we'll have a world title, and we'll probably have eventually again a secondary title, which I'll probably call something like the Inter-County or the Intercity Championship, something like that. Something to kind of like just represent that it's a secondary belt. But that's all for another time. I've hired a few more, or to be honest, only a couple more. Dave Bond. They're quite expensive because I think we can afford it now. Well, I say quite expensive. Expensive for us. $360 per show. And Ulf Herman. Now, so far, he's not been great. His pop's reasonable. And this guy, you know, he's costing us $270. I was looking at some people who were sort of 400, 500 because I think we can afford that now. We did have a bit of a blip with sponsorship. Well, a couple actually. We kind of hit in the sort of 8,500. Then suddenly it dipped to 7747. Then up to 81 again, 84. Then another dip. I don't quite know what's happening. I don't know if that's related to how we're putting on shows or where we're putting on shows. I don't know. I mean, I've had a look at. It could be related to the current state of the industry, which it did go down to 0. Well, it went down to 2. I didn't look at it after that. I'm assuming it hit 0 before going back up. So yeah, there's that. The economy's falling. It's a shame these aren't synced, to be honest, to both be falling or rising at the same time, you know, or a bit closer. You know, by the time this is rising again, that's going to already be probably about 50, 60. I'm only guessing. I can't remember what my settings are, if I've got it, you know, straight up and down or not. But generally speaking, they're always going to be a little bit out of sync. But it's something we've got to deal with. You know, when we get to a certain level, we don't need to worry. Money is looking great again. So yeah, that's all I sort of just wanted to talk about at the moment. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have two events on this show, on this episode. One of them will be in 2 weeks. We'll have our first ones based in the Midlands, and then we'll have our usual one based in the South. So another thing I want to do is I want to put this new belt on somebody. I want to, kayfabe. Someone won it at a tournament in, I don't know, Wigan. For goodness sake, I don't know. They used to do that in the old days. The first Intercontinental Champion didn't really win a tournament in Brazil. It was all made up. So I want to kind of put this belt on somebody. I mean, I don't know who. It doesn't really. Carl Crammer could be an interesting one. We should be looking at someone cheap because I only really want the cheaper guys. I'm just pick someone at random. Do you know what? It doesn't really matter. Andre Baker. Okay, so he's our first. I take it that did update. No, it didn't. Why not? Oh, probably because I pressed save without actually altering it. So Andre Baker, replace, save. Right, so Andre Baker is our first Central County champion. So he'll be the main guy in the Midlands shows. He may well defend the belt in Southern England as well. It might not make a lot of sense if he did. We'll see. But let's get to the first show, to the first event, and just see how it goes. Okay, before we actually go to that first event, and we did actually have George Burgess get injured. He got injured the week after, or it might have been the month after. He lost the belt. It was kind of like he lost the belt and he got injured. He didn't. He could have still been our champion when he got injured, but I took the belt off him. I think it was about a week before, so kind of a coincidental thing there. So he's returned, so he can wrestle again. That's all good. So we can go ahead then with our first. What did I call it? I'm awful for things like this. Premier Central Wrestling. Let's go. I've got to be thinking about venues, I suppose. Joe Finch was brought before the Wrestlers Court. Okay, well, it's not going to make too much difference. So this one then in the Midlands. What have we got? Now again, our attendance is going to have dropped quite considerably because obviously we're not as popular in the Midlands. So I'm going to be looking for a smaller venue, probably capacity of 100. There isn't any. That's great. Okay. It's probably because I put 100 and 100. Yeah, you can't have a capacity of 0, I suppose. So let's go to 250 then, between 100 and 250. Right. Okay, it's going to cost us the same amount. Right. Okay, so let's settle on a venue to stick with, if I remember. In the Midlands. It doesn't matter really. Preferably one that we can go. Walsall FC. Yeah. Okay. Why not? I've actually been past it. It's on one of the motorways on the way to sort of that end of the country. Yeah. Okay. The Saddlers Club, which is on the site of Walsall FC's Bescott Stadium. Okay, so we can start now. Hopefully, I haven't checked the schedules actually. Hopefully, we're not sort of missing anybody. Andre Baker will make a title defense against. Now, I want to be using the cheaper guys. I don't think their wages are on this screen, are they? Okay. I might just try and risk it and not worry too much about what people are being paid. Let's go Eddie Riley. Andre Baker and Eddie Riley. Let's try and go for a good 16-minute. The Central County Championship. Andre Baker to retain. Whoops, didn't want to do that. He'll win it. Tainted. And let's see if we can do this one with the storytelling. Match aim. Okay, that's good. The next match then. So I'm trying to think of some guys we've had around for a while, because although some of them might have had pay rises, they're more likely to be the cheaper guys. Pete Collins and Adrian Finch. Let's have this one as our Steal the Show match, and I'll have Pete Collins win it. Steal the Show. Did I? I did choose a victor. Okay. Have him win it Tainted, and we need a face to win a match actually, because did I do that as Steal the Show? Yeah, we need a face to win the last match really. So let's go with something like George Burgess is going to be expensive, or expensive for what we're doing anyway. Let's go Dave Duran and Carl Kramer. Yeah, all right. Let's see if he can cope. I think we've got 12 minutes left, 14 minutes overall, of course. Give Carl Kramer. And I wanted the face to win, didn't I? Carl Kramer doesn't lose very often when he does wrestle, so yeah, okay. Right. Hopefully that all makes sense. Stick that one in the middle. Flash Barker will open the show. Let's just word it a little bit differently. Barker says hello to the people of the Midlands. Hopes they enjoy hopes they enjoy Premier League wrestling. Okay. Dave Duran and Carl Kramer. Well, we'll have Dave Duran, and then we'll have Carl Kramer will do his usual menacing. So it'll be Dave Duran. Could have been a nasty one. So Dave Duran pre-match promo against Carl Kramer, as Kramer looks on cold as ice. I think I've used that one before, but it doesn't matter. And then Andre Baker, Eddie Riley. Eddie Riley, and let's not forget they're going to be interviewed by Flash Barker. So Barker interviews Baker and Riley pre, what did I name this belt? Pre Central County title match. So just pre Central County title match. That'll do. That's all we need. Okay. Okay. Nothing odd there. Right, the very first Midlands show then. 28. I'm sure this has got to be based on attendance and popularity as well, these ratings, because he's been getting 40s in the South. Adrian Finch and Pete Collins getting a 41. 33 for the Dave Duran and Carl Kramer segment, and then a 37 for their match. Both of them off their game. Didn't help there, did it? And then Baker, Riley and Barker getting 29, and the match getting a 36. So yeah, it's got to be related to pop. But we increased the popularity in one region, getting a rating of 36. That's not too bad then, really. And there's been some overspill, of course, for this region. So I knew, I knew it wouldn't be really awful. The sort of popularity we're getting. 93 people turned up to watch it. Okay, so hopefully, well, we'll have a look at what it's done for us at the end of the next event, which will be a regular Southern show. Right, here we are then for the usual Southern show. I need to remember to, it stays on Southern England, that's okay. And we were having shows now in, let's increase that again. We can probably go even, actually 502, okay. I was going to say we can probably go even bigger than that, but we'll stick with the Battersea Town Hall for the moment. I mean, we're slightly over 500 now, expected, but I don't think it's worth yet, kind of going even bigger. Not just yet. So, just want to get this show out of the way, really, and then see what our finances, see what the extra show's done for us, good or bad, or indifferent. So let's have our title match. Now, our champion down here is Dave Sullivan, and we'll have him defend against Keith Myatt. November 93 was the last time. Wow, okay, they haven't wrestled for over a year. So yeah, we'll do that then. Let's see if we can get away with... I was going to do Steal the Show, actually. Let's see if we can do that. Dave Sullivan to get the win. Steal the Show. Open script. And tainted. I won't have all his wins tainted like I did with the last heel champion. I think I pretty much did that. But this one will be tainted. So we've got the Steal the Show match. So now let's look for something a little bit different. Let's go with Dave Bond. He's pretty decent as well. I do like him. Dave Bond to take on Richie Brooks. I don't think we've done this one, but Richie Brooks can't always... Oh, we have. Right. Yeah, he can't have faced many people yet, and he's already faced the one I pick. Rory Campbell. Okay, we'll do that one. See if we can go slightly longer and we'll have this as the storytelling match. I want Dave Bond to get the win because he's pretty popular and he might not like losing. Yeah, storytelling, decisive victory. Okay. So a middle match. Let's go with... Don't want Carl Crammer again. How about our other new guy, Alf Herman? Go up against Dave Duran. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll give Alf the win, and he can win decisively. Yeah, stick this one in the middle, and then we'll have our Flash Barker opening. So Barker opens the show and talks about PLW expansion. So he just talks about there was a successful show held in the Midlands. We're trying to expand. We're hoping in the future to get a TV deal. Blah 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 blah. He's just talking about how great the PLW is and how even better it's going to be in the future. Okay, Dave Duran and Alf Herman. Alf, I don't think I've had an angle with Alf yet, actually. Dave Duran and Alf Herman pre-match promos. 4 minutes. And then Dave Sullivan, Keith Myatt, Flash Barker to interview them. Dave Sullivan, Keith Myatt. Right, so Barker interviews Sullivan and Myatt pre... I can't remember the name of this title now. Southern England pre Southern England title match. Right. So yes, let's just check there's nothing dodgy going on there. No. Right, let's see how this one goes. Flash Barker, 43 for his opening speech. And then Dave Bond and Rory Campbell getting a 49. A 21 between Dave Duran and Alf Herman. That's got to be the worst segment rating we've had for months. Wow, okay. I wonder whether it was a language problem. Maybe Alf... I didn't check actually whether he can speak English, but it doesn't say there's a A language. Wow. Okay. 21. The match didn't. Well, the match was okay. I mean, 39 isn't awful, but we're kind of expecting 40s now at least, aren't we? Okay. Well, 39. Barker, Sullivan, and Mayat, their angle getting a 43, and the championship match getting a 46. Defence number 2 for Dave Sullivan. That's all good. We had 500 people turn up, so it was a sellout. Overall rating 43, which is decent, increasing our popularity in 1. Obviously, our popularity now won't be increasing quite as much. It says 1, but whereas before it might have been 0.7 or a 0.8, now it's going to be something slightly smaller, maybe a 0.5 or 0.6, because we're charging for tickets. So yes, pop will still go up, but it won't be quite as much because we're charging for tickets. So I don't know the exact maths. Take whatever I've just said there, with a huge, load of salt, because I could be way off. I don't know what the mathematics are. I don't know what the calculations are, but still increase our popularity, and that's what's important. Okay, I skipped ahead 2 days. We are now in February '95, and wow, we made 7,678. We've got 70 grand in the bank now. So what did it do for us? Well, ticket sales was 5 grand, so that definitely offset wages. It must have, well, yeah, workers was, so that's definitely offset wages for both. Both. I mean, because obviously our wages, salaries basically doubled because we're having 2 shows. I mean, not quite doubled, because I was careful really of who I had on the show, but the ticket sales offset that. Sponsors down again. Yeah, it's got to be the economy. So, merchandise. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this. Merchandise went up again to whatever the next level was. So, merchandise, you can see, had a massive bump between September and October, and it's steadily going up. So, yeah, that's all great. So, yeah, that's fantastic. So, 2 shows a month, and I can afford to. I think looking at that, I can afford to have some of the. I can afford to have anyone on the show, really, whatever they're earning. So that is fantastic. I'm really, really pleased with that. Just checking our titles. Just check our pop as well. So Southern England now 32, Midlands now 13. So they did both go up a whole. No, they didn't. Southern didn't go up a whole 1. Yeah, because we're charging for I think if we weren't charging for tickets again, that would have gone up a little bit. I think we'd be seeing 33 there, but yeah, so the rise now is an even smaller fraction. But Midlands went up by a whole 1. We now have 1 pop in Scotland now as well, which we didn't have. That's probably spillover from the Midlands, is it? Does the Midlands spill over to Scotland? I didn't think it did. No. So how have we got 1 in Scotland? Okay, well, I'm not going to complain. Okay, well, just, yeah, all right. Well, we've got 1 pop in Scotland somehow. But yeah, and 1 in Ireland, but we had that a while ago, apparently. We got that back in July. That's another strange one, actually. How? But anyway, not going to complain. It's good. Midlands now is what we want to be concentrating on getting because this is just going to keep going up anyway, as long as we put on shows that are better than 32 in the south, then yeah, that's going to keep going up. We've only really got to hit 35 to get the next level and to satisfy Challenge TV for the TV deal. Get the Midlands to hit, I think it's 30, 35, whatever it was, as well, and we'll be laughing. We'll be able to get a TV deal, provided that loads of other companies don't get a TV deal with them and forcing them to say they've got too many shows, but that's unlikely to happen. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how things are going. I will have a few months off camera again, and probably come back to you when something significant happens. I think the next thing is going to be hitting the next level, isn't it? I mean, we're not far away, so yeah, we'll look at that when the time comes. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for those who have interacted with me. I'm still way behind, or behind's the wrong word. I'm recording way ahead of myself. So any comments that you guys might have made on any of my videos, I haven't got a clue yet. I think I've uploaded it up to episode 4, and I'm trying to record as many as I can to kind of keep ahead, because if there's ever a time where I'm unable to record, I know I've got several weeks to kind of like, okay, I don't need to worry because videos are still being uploaded. But yeah, there may be a stage soon where I'll change my schedule and I'll upload once every 6 days or something rather than once every 3 or 4. But anyway, yeah, again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it and take care, everybody. I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.